If you want to progress, you need physical and mental peace along with hard work. Physical peace can be easily obtained, but mental peace is not. A wise person has to make a plan for mental peace. For the journey of success, you have to pay attention to things. Imagine walking into a room full of people yet feeling completely alone. Imagine lying next to someone every night yet sensing an invisible wall between you. Distance in relationships is not always about physical space. It is about emotional disconnection. The silent gaps that grow when understanding fades away. Today we're going to discuss one of the most significant causes of distance in relationships and how we can bridge that gap before it becomes too wide to cross. Seek understanding daily. Understanding is the foundation upon which strong relationships are built. Without it, miscommunication thrives, assumptions take root, and emotional distance grows. When we fail to seek understanding daily, we allow the walls of silence and misunderstanding to rise, creating barriers where love, respect, and connection should flourish. Seeking understanding requires intentional effort. It means taking the time to listen, not just hear words, but truly listen to what is being said. It means setting aside personal biases, assumptions, and distractions to engage fully with the emotions and experiences of those around. Too often we assume we know what someone else is thinking or feeling. We rely on past interactions rather than present conversations. We let the busyness of life overshadow the importance of true connection. This lack of daily understanding slowly erodes the foundation of relationships, leading to emotional disconnection and, ultimately, distance. The power of listening. Listening is not passive. It is an active, intentional process that requires humility, patience, and a genuine desire to understand. Many relationships suffer because people listen to respond, not to understand. They are eager to defend themselves, to prove a point, or to shift blame, instead of simply being present and receptive. Then listening starts to really happen when you realize that you only listen seeking points. Dr. Miles Monroe often spoke about the importance of listening as a means of demonstrating love. To truly love someone is to seek to know them beyond words. It is to understand their fears, their struggles, their aspirations, and their pain. This level of understanding creates deep bonds that withstand the tests of time and adversity. Communicating with clarity and compassion. Communication is the bridge that connects hearts. But when it is unclear or laced with assumptions, it becomes a tool for division rather than unity. Seeking understanding daily means prioritizing honest, open, and compassionate conversations. One of the key reasons relationships falter is because people communicate through assumptions rather than clarity. Instead of expressing needs directly, they expect their partners, friends, or colleagues to automatically know what they require. When expectations are unmet, resentment builds, further widening the emotional gap. And by making a conscious effort to communicate clearly, we eliminate unnecessary misunderstandings and foster a culture of trust and connection. This means expressing thoughts and emotions without fear, addressing concerns before they escalate, and ensuring that both parties feel heard and valued. Developing empathy and emotional awareness. Empathy is the key to seeking understanding daily. It allows us to see the world through the eyes of another, to feel what they feel, and to respond with kindness and wisdom. Without empathy, relationships become self-centered, with each person focusing solely on their own needs and desires. To develop empathy, we must be willing to step outside of ourselves and genuinely care about the experiences of others. This involves active engagement, asking thoughtful questions, and being present in moments of vulnerability. When we prioritize empathy, we create a safe space where people feel valued, seen, and understood. Emotional awareness is another crucial aspect of understanding. Recognizing our own emotions and how they influence our interactions helps us navigate relationships with grace and wisdom. It allows us to respond rather than react, to address conflicts with a level-headed perspective, and to build deeper, more meaningful connections. Overcoming barriers to understanding. Seeking understanding daily is not always easy. It requires patience, humility, and the willingness to put ego aside. Some of the most common barriers to understanding include pride and defensiveness. When we prioritize being right over being understanding, we create walls instead of bridges. Distractions and busyness. In the rush of daily life, meaningful conversations take a backseat to routine obligations. Unresolved conflicts. Lingering issues, if not addressed, breed bitterness and resentment, making genuine understanding difficult. Lack of emotional awareness. Without recognizing our own emotional triggers, we struggle to engage in productive conversations. To overcome these barriers, we must make seeking understanding a daily habit. This means setting aside time for meaningful conversations, practicing patience in moments of disagreement, and committing to personal growth in emotional intelligence. The transformational power of understanding. When we seek understanding, daily relationships thrive. We create a culture of trust, love, and respect. Misunderstandings are resolved quickly, emotional bonds deepen, and conflicts are approached with wisdom rather than hostility. Understanding is not a one-time achievement, it is a continuous process that requires dedication and effort. But the rewards are immeasurable. Stronger marriages, deeper friendships, healthier workplaces, and more fulfilling connections are all byproducts of making understanding a daily priority. Dr. Miles Monroe once said, "The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose." In relationships, the greatest tragedy is not separation, but a connection lost due to a lack of understanding. If we truly value the people in our lives, we must commit to seeking understanding daily. Let us choose to listen with open hearts, to communicate with clarity and compassion, and to develop empathy that strengthens the bonds we hold dear. In doing so, we will not only prevent distance in relationships, but create a legacy of love and unity that will stand the test of time. Prioritizing open and honest communication is the foundation of any strong relationship, whether personal or professional. When individuals engage in transparent conversations, they foster trust, eliminate misunderstandings, and build lasting connections. Open communication requires a willingness to express oneself authentically while also being receptive to the thoughts and emotions of others. It is not just about speaking, but about listening with intent and understanding. Too often, relationships suffer because of hidden truths, unexpressed emotions, and the fear of confrontation. Many people shy away from difficult conversations, believing that silence is the safer route. However, unspoken concerns eventually create distance, leading to resentment, frustration, and broken relationships. Dr. Miles Monroe emphasized that the greatest challenge in communication is the assumption that it has taken place. Words must not only be spoken, but also understood. An understanding comes from clarity and patience. To prioritize open and honest communication, one must first cultivate self-awareness. Before expecting others to share their truths, we must be willing to examine our own. Are we expressing our needs clearly? Are we creating an environment where others feel safe to speak? These questions help us build a space of mutual. Equally important is the ability to listen without judgment. Many people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. True communication is a two-way process where both parties feel valued and heard. Active listening, eye contact, and acknowledging the emotions behind the words strengthen bonds and foster deeper connections. Beyond language, body language, tone, and actions play crucial roles in conveying honesty. A gentle touch, an encouraging smile, or a reassuring note can communicate more than words ever could. Authenticity is not just. Now, building on the foundation of open communication, the next critical aspect is showing consistency and reliability. Consistency in actions and words ensures that people know what to expect from us. It reassures them that our commitments are genuine and not just momentary promises. Reliability builds a bridge of trust, allowing relationships to flourish. A person who is consistent in their words and actions demonstrates integrity. When you say you will do something and follow through, you create a sense of dependability that others can count on. Dr. Myers Monroe believed that reliability is one of the greatest currencies in relationships. It is not enough to speak well or make commitments. One must fulfill those promises with unwavering dedication. Inconsistency, on the other hand, breeds doubt and weakens relationships. If someone's behavior fluctuates unpredictably, it creates confusion and insecurity. People need to feel that they can rely on you, not just during the good times, but also during challenges. The true test of reliability comes in difficult moments, when perseverance and commitment are required to maintain trust. Being consistent requires discipline and accountability. It means aligning one's actions with their values and principles. It means being the same person in private as in public, demonstrating the same level of commitment regardless of circumstances. A leader, friend, or partner who embodies reliability becomes a pillar of strength for those around them. Dr. Monroe often taught that reliability is a choice. It is a daily commitment to show up, to be present, and to follow through on what we say. It is about being dependable in small things, which translates into trust in greater responsibilities. People respect and trust those who do what they say they will do. Ultimately, consistency and reliability reinforce the foundation of open communication. When people know they can count on you to be honest and steadfast, they feel secure in their interactions. Trust deepens, relationships thrive, and personal growth accelerates. Prioritizing these values creates an environment where individuals can collaborate, love, and grow without fear of deception or instability. To build meaningful relationships and impactful connections, commit to being a person of integrity, reliability, and open communication. Make honesty your foundation, consistency your practice, and reliability your legacy. Empathy is the foundation of any strong and lasting relationship. It is the ability to place yourself in another person's position and genuinely feel what they feel. Without empathy, relationships become shallow and transactional. Without emotional support, connections with others weaken, leading to emotional isolation and distance. Dr. Myles Monroe often spoke about the significance of understanding and supporting one another in our emotional and spiritual journeys. He emphasized that relationships thrive when people genuinely care about one another's struggles and victories. Imagine being in a relationship where your feelings are dismissed, where your struggles are overlooked, and where your triumphs are met with indifference. Would you feel valued? Would you feel connected? Absolutely not. Human beings crave emotional validation. We need to know that we matter, that someone is listening, and that someone truly cares. This is why practicing empathy and emotional support is not just important, but essential for building unbreakable bonds in any relationship. The power of active listening, one of the greatest demonstrations of empathy, is active listening. Too often, people listen to respond rather than listening to understand. When you listen actively, you set aside your own thoughts and focus entirely on what the other person is saying. You absorb their words, understand their emotions, and respond with genuine care. Active listening involves making eye contact and giving your full attention, avoiding interruptions or finishing the other person's sentences, responding with thoughtful questions and affirmations, reflecting back what the person has said to show understanding. When people feel heard, they feel valued, and when they feel valued, they naturally open their hearts, strengthening the relationship in the process. Emotional availability, being present in moments of need. Many people struggle in their relationships because they fail to be emotionally available. It is not enough to simply be physically present. You must also be mentally and emotionally engaged. Being emotionally available means being present in times of joy, sadness, anxiety, and uncertainty. When someone you care about is struggling, your presence alone can bring comfort. Whether it is offering a listening ear, a shoulder to lean on, or words of encouragement, your support can help them navigate their challenges with strength and hope. Dr. Miles Monroe often reminded us that relationships are not just about what we gain, but about what we give. It is in giving support, love, and understanding that we receive these things in return. Offering encouragement and words of affirmation. Encouragement is the oxygen of the soul. Every person, no matter how strong they appear, needs to be uplifted. Words of affirmation can transform a discouraged heart into a hopeful one. Something as simple as saying, "I believe in you, you are not alone," or "you are doing an amazing job," can breathe life into someone who is struggling. Dr. Miles Monroe taught that our words have power. They can either build up or tear down. When we use our words to affirm and uplift, we create an atmosphere of safety and love. People gravitate toward those who make them feel good about themselves. If you want to strengthen your relationships, make it a habit to speak words of kindness, encouragement, and affirmation daily. Responding with compassion, not judgment. A key component of empathy is responding with compassion rather than judgment. People go through difficult seasons in life. They make mistakes, face failures, and experience heartbreaks. How we respond to their struggles determines the depth of our relationships with them. Instead of criticizing or belittling someone's pain, choose to respond with kindness and understanding. Ask yourself, how would I want someone to treat me if I were in their situation? Offering grace and compassion strengthens trust and deepens emotional bonds. Dr. Monroe taught that when people feel safe enough to be vulnerable with you, your relationship grows beyond surface-level connections into something truly meaningful. The healing power of empathy. Empathy has the power to heal wounds. Many people carry emotional scars from past experiences, betrayals, disappointments, and losses. When you practice empathy, you help to mend those wounds by showing that they are not alone. You create an environment where people feel safe to express themselves without fear of rejection or ridicule. A strong relationship is not built on perfection, but on understanding. When you choose to be empathetic and supportive, you create a foundation of trust, love, and mutual respect. This is the key to building relationships that not only last, but flourish. Final thoughts. If you want to strengthen your relationships, practice empathy and emotional support daily. Be a person who listens, who encourages, who is present, and who offers grace instead of judgment. Dr. Miles Monroe believed that relationships are one of life's greatest treasures. But like any treasure, they require care, effort, and attention. The more you pour into others with love, kindness, and empathy, the stronger your connections will become. Let empathy be your guiding principle, and you will build relationships that stand the test of time. Imagine a world where relationships flourish, where love, trust, and deep connection are the foundation of every bond we share. Now picture the opposite, a world where people are distant, where conversations are shallow, and where relationships are slowly fading away. What makes the difference between these two realities? It is the simple yet powerful principle of investing quality time together. Many people today wonder why their relationships feel weak, why their connections with loved ones seem to be drifting apart, and why they often feel lonely despite being surrounded by people. The truth is that relationships, like anything of value, require intentional investment. They need time, effort, and presence. Without quality time, relationships wither away like a neglected garden. But when we choose to prioritize meaningful time with those we love, we cultivate something truly extraordinary, a bond that stands strong against the tests of time. The power of presence. One of the greatest gifts you can give someone is your presence. Not just physically being there, but truly being present in heart and mind. Too often people are together in the same space, but are miles apart emotionally. They sit at the same dinner table, but are consumed by their phones. They share a home, but rarely engage in deep conversations. They spend years in relationships, but never truly know each other. Quality time is not just about being in the same location. It is about being engaged, attentive, and intentional. When you invest quality time in your relationships, you communicate to others that they matter, that they are a priority in your life, and that their presence is valued. Quality over convenience. Some people believe that simply spending more time with someone will strengthen a relationship. But it is not about the quantity of time, it is about the quality. Two people can spend an entire day together and yet feel disconnected if their time is filled with distractions and meaningless interactions. On the other hand, even a short conversation, when done with full attention and presence, can build deep and lasting bonds. It is better to have 30 minutes of focused, intentional connection than hours of distracted, passive time. Make time count by ensuring that when you are with someone, you are truly with them, listening, engaging, and sharing in the moment. The role of deep conversations. Surface-level conversations can only sustain relationships for so long. If we desire deep and meaningful connections, we must be willing to go beyond the superficial. Deep conversations, those that explore dreams, fears, values, and aspirations, are the foundation of strong relationships. Make it a habit to engage in discussions that matter. Ask about someone's day, but also ask about their thoughts, their struggles, and their hopes. Listen not just to respond, but to understand. When you invest in meaningful dialogue, you show people that they are valued, and you strengthen the emotional ties that hold relationships together. The role of shared experiences. Memories are the glue that binds relationships. Some of the strongest connections are formed through shared experiences. Whether it is traveling together, working on a project, celebrating victories, or supporting each other through challenges, these shared moments create bonds that cannot easily be broken. Make it a priority to create experiences together. Go on trips, have game nights, volunteer together, cook a meal, or simply take a walk and talk. The activities themselves matter less than the connection they foster. What is important is that you're intentionally building memories that will last a lifetime. The importance of unplugging. In a world driven by technology, one of the biggest threats to quality time is distraction. Phones, social media, and constant notifications pull us away from the people right in front of us. Many relationships suffer not because people do not love each other, but because they are not present when they are together. Make it a habit to unplug from technology and focus on real-life connections. Set boundaries, such as no phones at the dinner table, or designating certain times for family and relationship building. Be intentional about creating spaces where connection can thrive without distractions. The impact on different types of relationships, marriage and romantic relationships. In marriage, quality time is essential for maintaining intimacy and understanding. Couples who intentionally spend time together grow closer and are better equipped to handle challenges. Parent-child relationships. Children spell love as T-I-M-E. They do not just need their parents around, they need them to be engaged and present. Playing, talking, and sharing activities help build strong and healthy parent-child bonds. Friendships. Friendships require maintenance. Just as a plant needs water, friendships need quality time to thrive. Make time for your friends. Reach out and be intentional about staying connected. Workplace and professional relationships. Even in professional settings, investing time in meaningful conversations and team building strengthens trust, collaboration, and productivity. Practical ways to invest quality time. Schedule it. Make quality time a priority by scheduling it just as you would any important meeting or event. Eliminate distractions, turn off notifications, put the phone away, and focus on the person in front of you. Be fully engaged. Listen actively, make eye contact, and be present in the moment. Create traditions. Family dinners, weekly catch-ups with friends, or monthly date nights help establish consistent quality time. Express appreciation, verbalize gratitude, and let people know you value the time spent together. Closing thoughts. In the end, relationships are the most valuable treasures we have in this life. They require care, attention, and intentionality. Investing quality time together is not just an act of love, it is a necessity for lasting connection. It strengthens the bonds that sustain us, builds trust, and creates a foundation for meaningful relationships that stand the test of time. Choose today to be present. Choose to invest in your relationships. Because at the end of life, it is not the money, the accomplishments, or the material possessions that will matter most. It is the relationships we built, the love we shared, and the time we gave to the people who meant the most to us. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. How many of us truly feel valued in our relationships? How many of us wake up each morning knowing that we are respected, cherished, and appreciated by the people in our lives? You see, the deepest longing of the human heart is to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be honored. But sadly, in many relationships, whether friendships, marriages, business partnerships, or family connections, respect and appreciation are often missing. And when these elements are absent, relationships crumble, trust is broken, and people drift apart. If we want to build strong, lasting relationships, we must learn to demonstrate respect and appreciation consistently. It is not enough to feel love in our hearts. We must express it in ways that enrich and empower others. Respect and appreciation are the glue that holds relationships together. Without them, misunderstandings grow, resentment festers, and distance creeps in. But when we actively show honor to others, when we make them feel valued, we strengthen our bonds, deepen our trust, and cultivate love that stands the test of time. The power of respect in relationships. Respect is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. It is the acknowledgement of another person's worth, their dignity, and their uniqueness. When we respect someone, we do not belittle them, manipulate them, or take them for granted. Instead, we honor their thoughts, their emotions, and their contributions. Respect is the fuel that keeps relationships thriving because it tells the other person, you matter. One of the greatest ways to demonstrate respect is through active listening. So many times we hear but do not listen. We are quick to judge, to interrupt, or to dismiss what the other person is saying. But true respect means giving someone your full attention, valuing their perspective, and seeking to understand before seeking to be understood. When people feel hurt, they feel honored. When they feel honored, they are more willing to open their hearts, trust, and invest in the relationship. Celebrate achievements. Do not just notice when people fail, notice when they succeed. Celebrate their milestones, support their dreams, and be genuinely happy for their victories. Your acknowledgement will mean the world to them. Apologize and forgive quickly. Respect and appreciation also mean taking responsibility when we hurt someone and forgiving quickly when someone apologizes. Holding on to grudges damages relationships. Let go and move forward in love. Make time for people. In a world full of distractions, time is one of the greatest gifts we can give. Be present. Show up. Spend time with the people you value, because time spent together strengthens the bond. Final thoughts, a call to action. My friends, life is too short to live with regret. It is too short to let relationships wither due to neglect, pride, or selfishness. If we want to build strong relationships, if we want to have meaningful connections, we must be intentional in demonstrating respect and appreciation. Today, I challenge you, pick up the phone and call someone you have not spoken to in a while. Send a message of gratitude to a loved one. Look someone in the eye and tell them, I appreciate you. Start small, but start today. Because when we make respect and appreciation a lifestyle, we do not just change our relationships, we change our lives. And that, my friends, is how we build a legacy of love, honor, and connection. Thank you.